So welcome back to another episode, and welcome back to Rob and Rob's top 10 games of all time. I've done mine, Kim has done hers, Rob is doing his today. I asked him to come over and do this. He has a small box over here.
My little box.
With his top 10 games in. I have no idea what they are.
Nope.
So this is going to be a cool one. I think I know what two of them are.
I think you might know what one of them is, and I think I know which one you also think it is, but it isn't what you think it is because it isn't.
Well, that's why we're doing this.
That is what we're doing.
I'm really curious of what this is going to be, all these different titles. So why don't we just start?
All right.
Yeah, number 10.
So starting with number 10. Number 10, Shadow Hearts. Now, Shadow Hearts for the PS2 is a JRPG. It was a very unique series. It was made by a now defunct, it was published by Midway, but made by Aruz Gaming. And they're no longer around. They made 3 of these in total.
Yeah.
And then some of the characters showed up in side story as side characters and other things. But between the combat system, the gothic setting, the characters, it is sort of alternate history as well. It's set just around this, before World War I.
Yes.
Really, really good game. The combat style, they used what they called the, there was like a timer clock face that would go around, and as the second hand swept past, you had to hit your button in certain zones to make sure your attacks would work.
Right.
That was how they did the combat and the spells and the items. Everything was done with that, and it was a really fun way to do things. They also had some really fun ancillary characters, the guys who would help you power up your abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were really funny. A lot of good humor and tongue-in-cheek silliness to this game, and for its time, the graphics were actually really good.
I want to say this. I knew you were going to pick this one. I knew this would be... Yes! Of course, I knew that. So that's a good way to start. Shadow Hearts.
Shadow Hearts for the PS2.
That's cool.
If you haven't played it, it's great.
Yeah.
All right. At number 9, Bionic Commando.
I applaud this choice.
Now, Bionic Commando has so much meaning for me in so many ways. I mean, Capcom in their heyday, at the top of their game. The controls were tight, the graphics were great, the story with the... I mean, it was the Nazis. We all know it was the Nazis. They tried to say in North America it wasn't the Nazis. It was Hitler at the end that you shot in the face. Come on.
I know, that was a cool bit in the end.
Any game that lets you shoot Hitler in the face
in an NES,
immediately...
In an NES game was shocking back then.
Oh,
it was a big deal game back then.
And he actually blew up.
I know.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
This game, I love this game. And the fact that there was no jump button was so weird, yet kind of cool. You had to swing on that arm. You know how many years I spent pretending I had one of those bionic arms?
Oh, really?
As a kid,
That's
I
fun.
wanted to go on rope swings and stuff and pretend it was that bionic arm because I thought it was so cool.
Now, did you get it back in the day? Did you get a physical copy or did you rent it?
I used to rent it all the time, and then it was many years later, probably still in the 90s though.
Yeah.
I finally went and got a physical copy, and then this one I bought at that shop in Victoria where I kept finding games that were complete for really good prices.
Right, yeah.
That's where I got this copy.
Nice.
Which is why it still has some shrink wrap. It's not original shrink, but it is some shrink.
I have my copy up on the shelf. I feel the same way. Back in the day, I went to Schneel's place, and he got it for Christmas one day, year, and it was like, he lent it to me, and I was like, that game was a big deal game back then.
I remember when I figured out that the more of those little green bullets you collected, that's how you got your health bar bigger.
Yeah.
I would spend
farming
6 hours farming those in the first level.
Yeah.
Just so I'd have this ridiculous life bar so the rest of the game would be easier.
And you fall off and lose it all.
And then trying to remember which radios to use in which places and what everything.
I remember.
Oh.
That's Capcom. That's the good old Capcom NES days.
And that was pre-internet, so you couldn't just look up a walkthrough.
Yeah.
It was word of mouth or Nintendo Power.
Yeah, or figure it out your fucking self.
That's right.
Yes.
Old school. So that's 9.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's really good. I like that. I love not knowing what you're pulling out here. It's fun.
Number 8. Street Fighter Alpha 2.
Oh,
Specifically
yes.
2. Now 2 and 2 for a reason.
Yes.
We did play the shit out of 3. We did.
I like 3, but I like 2 is the one.
2 was the one for us because it was the first Street Fighter you started teaching me.
Right.
It was the one for which, I mean, I got that little Ryu necklace, and you had the Ken one, and we made the T-shirts, and all of that stuff. You taught me all about, and because it had the custom combo finish always had those icons.
Yes.
And you got the 3 Sakura sailor dresses.
Yes.
There were so many legendary stories of nights of us playing this, and so many. Usually with him with the wings of God flapping around the room while I wore the cloak of shame and the sunglasses of denial.
Oh.
But
I remember some other good times of you running up the stairs, slamming the door,
and screaming insults because I was so
said,
mad.
I'm never coming back here again. Boom!
Oh, yeah.
And I was sitting there going in shock, and we were.
You were a bit of a bad winner.
Yeah. No, I like to enjoy my time with my friends.
Oh my goodness. Dude.
Like I just like to have a bit of good times and have fun with it, Enhance the game. Fun. Expand the game universe into reality.
When you tell them that you could have been playing with your bits and pieces and you still would have won.
Yeah, it's true, though.
And when you beat them with your hands behind your back and not looking.
I know, I agree.
Very, very kind man.
Yeah, that's fine. I do apologize.
I may have had a little bit of a temper back then, too. So, a funny thing.
Well, you know what? I pushed you past the point of no return, and I loved doing it.
Oh, he did.
I loved it.
And just so people know, it would have been within the hour that I would have been coming back. We would have apologized. We'd crack a beer, and we'd move on with life. That happened a lot.
I think you showed up after dinner, and everything was fine again.
Yeah, I was like,
man.
You're like, oh, shut up and have a fucking beer.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I applaud that choice. That really makes a lot of sense.
Number 7.
Oh.
Wait, are we at 10, 9, 8,
yeah.
7?
Yeah.
Super Bomberman 2.
Oh, so much nostalgia going on here.
It is. A lot of this is based, I want people to know, a lot of this is based around nostalgia because for me, my greatest games of all times are ones that I have played and that I've played a million times that have a lot to them. This game, before I even met you, there were a group of people that I used to play this with obsessive.
Yeah.
And I had the multi-tap for the Super NES and the 4 controllers, and we would play for hours on end, but you and I took it to such legendary levels.
Well, may I say, you brought this over, and you're like, hey, let's play this. I'm like, I don't want to play Bomberman. I remember, being against it. And then we started playing, and I was like, oh.
Because you were remembering the NES one. Which was very plain and boring.
Yeah, you bomb things and whatever.
Yeah, but the versus
mode is what made it. Now, me and you started playing and getting legendarily good.
Oh, God, it was ridiculous.
We are still, it's funny that we haven't talked about this in a long time. We are really good at this game.
Yes.
Amazingly good.
And we will get, we take a few scratch rounds to practice up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Once we get there, we used to turn the timer off so that there was no time limit. And it would invariably end up running almost half an hour per round because all of the blocks would be cleared.
Yeah, I would say we didn't do any weird levels, no ice levels, just the main level, because that's an equal playing field.
Yep.
We found the most equal. And then, not only that, but my friends, which were a bit older than you, because, I was a few years older than you, came over, and it became their religion. And everybody would be over playing Bomberman.
Every time there was a big get-together at your house, this came out, the beer came out, everyone got sloshed, and we played the shit out.
But even before the beer came out, I remember afternoons, hours and hours of my friends, and we were all 22 years old, we were a little bit older, just going, just match after match.
And the champion held their controller until they were finally dethroned.
That's right.
That was the rule.
We gotta play this again.
And no golden bomber.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And we learned later that whoever gets that blue glove first is gonna fuck the other guy so hard.
Yeah, like when you saw the other guy get the glove, you're no, that sucks.
No.
And I know, sometimes you'd be going, you'd be like, no goddamn items. The other guy's just cleaning down, and he's whipping the bombs over the other side.
What was the word? To throwing the bombs over the other side and just plug you into a hole.
But then, but when you could hold the bombs, and then you could bounce
back.
And we were crazy.
We would stand there, let it bounce back and forth, and play chicken with the bomb.
Yeah.
And we would wait 5 minutes, and we'd just sit in there. Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah.
You one piece?
Yeah,
I'm not moving.
Yeah, we were nuts. With so many inside jokes with that game.
Oh God.
Yeah,
don't get cocky.
Yeah, whenever you get cocky,
you lose.
You automatically lose whenever you say that. That's a good one.
That's absolutely.
I like that.
So that's number 7. Number 6. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which is disclaimer, put a big disclaimer, a big warning flashing here, okay?
Yeah.
Warning, disclaimer. In my opinion, the single greatest Zelda game made still.
What? Breath of the Wild?
Breath of the Wild loses out by a hair because the weapons break.
Oh, okay.
It's the only thing it loses by. If it weren't for the breaking weapons, that would be totally 100% the winner. But
this nostalgia.
I mean, I still remember good old Mr. Moyer, if you're watching, getting this when it first came out and going to his house, and we played there. I got him to the Dark World in one sitting.
Yeah.
I was insatiable on this damn game. I love this game so much. It is, to me, one of the purest essences of a Zelda game. It took the top-down view from the first, and in the third, they got the 16-bit graphics and music, and everything about the story and the pacing and the dungeons and the puzzles was just right to me. So this easily makes my top.
This is your list, and I agree with that. That's
and
great.
That's
nice.
So that's number, what was that, number 6?
Yes.
Getting down. We're into the top 5, people. Woo! So, at number 5, Blaster Master.
I
for
knew
the
this.
NES.
I knew this would be on the list.
Blaster Master had to make this list. This is one of the very few incredibly rare blind purchases that has stuck with me throughout my entire life, and that is in some ways partially responsible for the woman I'm married to now being in my life. So, I mean, this game, from the concept, I mean, Sunsoft just came out of nowhere with this thing. And, I mean, okay, we've had ones where you have a vehicle that drives around, and there's been a bit of the Metroidvania exploration before this, right? But then you add the fact that the little guy can get out of the tank, and I don't know why I was so obsessed with that.
That was awesome,
But this little
though.
tiny guy goes out of the tank and walks around, then you can go into like Zelda-style top-down view dungeons
You can
and do more shit.
like a Metroid kind of world, you know, organic and stuff.
Then
and
turns into
monsters.
Zelda.
Yes, exactly.
And then back to Metroid, and then back to Zelda. It was so good.
It was good.
And I love the sci-fi, the tech kind of look of it, the very innocent story. The kid's frog gets out and then turns into a mutant.
Yes.
And then he falls into the earth and finds a tank that just so happens to have a suit his size in it. It was crazy.
It was so in the 80s.
Oh, it was so yeah, in the 80s
Yeah.
when you didn't have to explain everything scientifically. You just accepted it because you knew it was a game.
Yeah.
My God, people.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting so, but scientifically. I don't care.
That's impossible.
Radioactive frog.
Where'd you get the tank from?
I love the radioactive
Let's
frog.
make
The
it
tank was
dance.
there. The frog made the tank. You crapped the tank for him. It's good. So, and also, just as a side note, Blaster Master Zero on the
Very
Switch.
good game.
Blaster Master Zero 2 just got released.
Yes, I did hear that. I know. I know.
Dude.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the concept art. I'm losing my goddamn mind, and it's out now. So I gotta go get it.
Yeah. Did you play the last one?
Ooh, I haven't
good,
finished
yeah.
it yet, though, so I gotta finish that.
Oh,
too.
actually, well, Andrew, when the last time he came out, he woke up one morning and I had a download code. He finished it.
I'm almost there. I'm on level like 6 or 7, but I gotta finish it.
He
It's so
loved
good.
it. It was a really good game.
It was so good, and I love what they did with the lore and kind of expanding and fleshing it out.
Yeah.
And the way that the animation style, the art style they used.
It wasn't the Genesis version, so that was good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, thank God for that. Yeah. Not good. Not good.
So, all right, number 4. Should be no surprise to most people.
I knew you were going to do that, Blaster Master. Oh, here we go.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This is the PS1 to me. This is it's not the first game I got for the PS1. We won't discuss that other one.
Yeah.
This is the first real game I purchased for the PS1. And I remember that was when I had that games room upstairs in my place in Delta that was attached to the bed, that loft with the, right? And I had that TV set up with the beanbag chair, and I had like 8 speakers. It was stereo, but it was 8 speakers, 4 on either side, blasting the sound at me. All done up. In the beanbag chair, a big mug of beer sitting next to me in this at the time, huge 36-inch TV.
That's big then.
With this hooked up to it, sitting there playing it with just the biggest idiot grin on my face. It was such, and that was right around Christmas time too. I remember that. It was getting close to Christmas, so it was a little bit wintry out, a bit cold. Oh man, this game, the amount of time that we spent playing it, the exploration, comparing notes, finding secrets, getting you back to 200% after your cousins deleted your.
Well, so my parents' friends' kids did that.
Oh, is that what it was? It wasn't even related then.
I know.
Then how were they allowed to live?
I don't understand it either.
And of course, the question on everyone's mind: why didn't you just take out the memory card?
Don't ask dumb questions.
You'll get dumb answers.
I trusted them. Anyways, the funny thing, that game, you know, over the years, I remember when we found that little Sakura Media, and we walked in, and I could buy the soundtrack. I was like, oh my God, I got the soundtrack on CD. And over the years, I got the LP soundtrack. You know, I had the PS4 version, which I played during Halloween. Unbelievable.
So good.
Unbelievable.
So good.
So good.
So this game had to be in my top 5. And that's number 4.
Yes.
Number 4 of my top games of all time. Also, because, I mean, Metroidvanias, I'm playing Chasm now on the Switch.
Yeah.
Which is very much Metroidvania style. And it scratches the itch while we wait for Bloodstained.
Oh, yes.
At number 3.
Number 3
is Silent Hill 2.
I know some of these, what you're doing.
Silent Hill 2, when the PS2 came out, and I think that was during the time that we weren't chatting as much.
Yeah.
But Tamara and I had the PS2, and I bought Silent Hill 2. She loves creepy stuff. She loves horror movies, stuff like that. I don't think she had ever played the first Silent Hill, though, at the time. We bought this together. We bought the PS2 together. We were in a little apartment down on Davie Street. And when it came out, we bought it. We brought it home. And then we sat and watched horror movies until about 2 a.m. drinking beer.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, now the mood is set. Now we're ready to scare the absolute crap out of ourselves. Let's put in Silent Hill 2. And that's when we started playing.
Wow.
And it was gross, so creepy, that walk along the gravel path at the very start of the game, and you hear those sounds in the woods behind you and footsteps behind you, and every time you stop, they stop. And then when you start, after a couple steps, they start again. It's like so paranoia-inducing, so terrifyingly good. And so, I mean, we played this, but I found of the Silent Hill series, it has the best story, the best characters. I mean, it brought us Pyramid Head, and he was supposed to stay here. Everything about this was a standalone game of its own that is, to me, the best of the series.
I agree. I remember the original game came out and Satan played it, and I saw it, and I was like, I'm okay with this. It was okay.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. It was good.
I didn't mind it. But the second one, I was like, okay, this is getting pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it's so intense.
And then I remember,
so
you actually the one who got me a bit more into the series. I remember coming over and you had the room, that one.
Silent Hill 4, the room.
That was freaking creepy, dude.
Oh, yeah, man.
I remember sitting there going,
oh
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think I can play this.
The Silent Hill series, this one for me had the most because a lot of it was the psychological damage the characters had.
Yeah.
Fruit Loops, man.
Yeah. Ugh. That's nice.
That's just bad people. This is full of bad people.
That's good.
So that's number 3.
Yeah.
Number 2.
He's sweating as he gets closer.
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, of course.
Do we really even, do we need to explain why? Do I need to explain
why? No,
I mean,
we've talked about it so much.
So much. I mean, the day it came out, the hype around the release with the Game Fan magazines, the 1.5 turning into this, all of it, and then to sit and have this experience, the two of us simultaneously, every night on the phone. I mean,
it's a perfect game.
It is.
And the remake is a perfect game as well. They've expanded upon it. This was great at that time. The remake is great at this time.
What I love about it is that it gives us enough of this.
Yes.
That we have that nostalgia that we need it to have.
Yeah, that we relate to it.
But it's different enough that it's a new experience too.
Yeah. It's great. It's unbelievable.
People.
Yeah.
Capcom is back.
Yeah, in a big way.
Huge.
Yeah.
Like, not since the 90s has Capcom commanded this much respect.
A lot of these games are Capcom and Konami.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Is this number 2?
Number 1.
Is it?
My number 1.
We're at number 1 already?
My number 1 most favorite game of all time will surprise no one. At all. Do I even need to bring it? I'm not even going to bring it up because everybody knows. But no, alright, I'll bring it up. And it is... Dynamite Ducks! No, I'm just kidding. Whoa. It's Mega Man 2.
Yeah.
Come on. Why? Does anybody doubt at this point? I mean, come on. Duh.
I love it. This is your original Mega Man 2 here.
I mean, look at the box. It's ratty, it's dog-eared, it's shitty, and I don't care. And it's still got the plastic bag.
Oh.
It's still got the slip cover with Nintendo on it.
What year? 1989?
Oh God, was this 80?
Something like that. I know. I don't have my glasses.
It was. I think it was the first one was 87. So yeah, I think it was a couple years before the next one. So I think it was 89. Yeah. And then of course I've got the original manual too. All of it.
Imagine I just wanted a reaction video to squish it all up. Oh my god.
This is back when they had. I mean, look at that horrible old artwork.
Oh,
it was so great, though.
Yeah, it's so good.
So great. Because, I mean, you had this kind of stuff in the instruction booklet. This great kind of stuff in the instruction booklet. But the cover was not quite the same. Although this painting is very special to me.
Oh, yes.
I love this painting.
Yes.
Because I have the one print.
The one print. And a drawing.
Oh, yes.
He was nice enough to sit and do that drawing. Dude, that is so legendary.
I have been saving up to get a full-on gorgeous wood frame for that.
Oh yeah.
That is going to be the ultimate place of honor in the basement.
When I was going around that convention store, I just see a little tab and and I met him and I was like, so we're talking about the artist. I got Robert Prince when I was down at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
God.
And the artist
who painted these,
signed it. and drew this picture again.
Yep, he drew his version of Mega Man, and it's the one-of-one test print that he did before he started doing the full print run of the poster-sized versions without the Mega Man 2 and stuff on it.
But his drawing at it makes it priceless. It's so good.
So cool.
Wow, I gotta say, what I like about your list is it's so nostalgic, and knowing you for as many years as I have, I understand all of these, and to be honest with you, I understand all of them. They all make total sense in the times I've known you. It's unbelievable.
And again, I mean, it's nostalgia based. There's nothing on a current gen system. There's nothing newer in these because for my greatest games of all time, it also was the fact that it stood the test of time.
Yeah,
I could put any one of these in right now and have just as much fun as I did the day they were launched.
And that's a good point.
That is a test. Yeah. Some of these newer games, God of War 4 is gorgeous and it's fun. But am I going to say that the same way in 20 years that I'm saying it about some of these?
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think the nostalgia plays a big part. This is part of our childhood. This is part of our 20s or part of our teens. You know, like that's a big deal, you know? I totally agree with it. So, hey, awesome. Thanks for coming over and sharing the list.
Thank you for letting me. This is great. It was quite a lot of homework.
Well, I phoned him up.
Sitting there in my basement looking at the piles going, who comes with me?
I phoned him up and I said, you got to come over and do your top 10 list. And he's like, oh, my top 10. I said, go figure it out.
And just 10.
And I know, and I said to him, I said, it's like a puzzle. I said, even if you pick 20 and then you narrow it down, I said, it's just your own, you know, type of thing. So figure it out. And then come on over. And I said, I don't want to see your picks, and I'm glad I didn't. It's made it a lot more fun. So
this is fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, guys, until next time.